Super Dave here with another Super Dave review. Super Dave here with another exciting Masters of the Universe cartoon collection by Origins. This is the 2000X cartoons collection by Mike Young. And this is a figure that I have wanted to look at. We're going to actually look at two, but I've wanted to see for a long time. I actually had bid on the original action figure that came out back in the early 2000s when they started releasing those figures. Of course, they looked very different, but these actually are designed to kind of look exactly like the cartoon, which is really cool. And this is Prince Adam. Have him a little big here, but if you remember, Prince Adam was kind of on the small side, kind of like in the Revolution Netflix series, but maybe even a little smaller. I don't know, but there's a picture of him, and you can decide back when, you know, it was a cartoon. There he is in the cartoon, and there he is as the action figure. But you can see on the back of the box more of a comic version of him, and he's looking pretty buff there. I don't think he was that buff in the cartoon as you saw. So, you know, but the reason I like this guy was because I thought it was kind of a neat premise in the Mike Young version and iteration of Masters of the Universe that Prince Adam transformed from a smaller dude into a, you know, super dude, a muscular He-Man. And, but that's kind of the premise of what this was, but that's not what I'm getting from this. He's looking pretty thick here, but not as thick as He-Man. But we'll look at it beside our 2000X He-Man here in just a moment. The other one that we get is Zodak, spelled with a C instead of a K at the end there. And that's because this is not the same Zodak. Zodak in the 2000X version came from a different dimension. But, you know, all the Zodak cosmic enforcers were somewhat, you know, I guess related, not necessarily kin, but they were a part of an alliance of beings that kept balance in the universe. And they were able to travel on those chairs, which we'll take a look at those chariot type chairs in the review. But this guy's cool. He was an African-American, listen to me, African Eternian. No. African Universalism. I don't know. No, he was a black cosmic enforcer and was really cool. Had those neat markings, almost like tribal. You think about The Rock, you know, with the Samoan, you know, markings. But this was some white markings on his legs and arms and chest. And a lot of times we'd see him without his helmet. I don't think this helmet's removable. But in the classics, we did get this Zodak with the removable helmet. There he is in his comic book form there, drawn on the back. Excellent artwork. You can see that. There's a picture of who's in this wave. You see we have Prince Adam and Skeletor. And we'll be looking at Skeletor with our Evil Lyn in a future review. But I've got some other things coming down the pike first. But yeah, this is really cool. I like this Zodak, and it's neat to have him in hand. So let's go ahead and break open this Prince Adam and Zodak over here in Eternia right now. And here's our Prince Adam and Zodak with a C at the end from the 2000X Mike Young production cartoon. And we have accessories, just one for Prince Adam. Comes with one set of hands, one scepter from him being a prince. It's got the scepter, one head sculpt. That's it. No comic book. And then Zodak comes with his iconic staff, that cosmic enforcer-like staff. And this one looks really neat. Never have gotten one quite like this before. It's looking neat. I love the way he's tall. He is really tall in this particular form, and I like that. I mean, if he's tall enough, Mike could even use him as a cosmic enforcer in my multiverse with my masterverse with my other cosmic enforcers. So that would be cool. I like the way his armor has the insignia, the cosmic enforcer insignia is kind of wide here compared to other ones. We'll see that in comparisons. But yeah, both of these I really am pleased with how they look. They look really nice. And for it to be kind of on the more toy line of figures, I like the fact that they have a premium look and feel to them because they have that matte finish. They just have really good details. The articulation is definitely limited compared to Masterverse figures, but they just look really good. So I'm pleased with that. All right, now let's take a look at our Prince Adam and Zodak with their articulation. All right, first of all, taking a look at our Prince Adam here. He's really not going to be able to look up because his hair hits the back of his collar there, but he will look down pretty decent amount. Really, he's not going to get any tremendous amount of head pivot. You see it's a little bit there, but again, his hair hits his shirt. He's going to be able to look side to side really well. His arms are going to, of course, come out to a T-pose. He will get the full 360. Now, you know, with these Origins, the arms do pop out easy because they come all to pieces, but you've got this little piece here on that vest that is going to be a little bit of a hindrance of going all the way around. No bicep swivel, but you do have that single jointed elbow with the swivel there. And that single joint, yeah, it's getting 90 degrees there. And you're going to have your hinge and swivel at the wrist. And yeah, it's horizontally hinged on both sides. That gauntlet looks like, yeah, it's either glued in or molded in. It's non-removable. He is going to only swivel at the waist. There's no articulation at the diaphragm. He's going to get full splits. Just a tad of rotation, but not really anything that counts there on the thighs. He's going to be able to kick up about that much. He has that single jointed knee. Looks like it's getting about 90. It will swivel. Also has boot cut. Has ability to go tiptoes with that boot. That foot goes up all the way and has that forward facing pin to get the rocker with a peg hole in the bottom. So yeah, typical Origins cartoon collection style articulation, and he's looking really good. Looking really good. Like I said, he is pretty buff for a Prince Adam from the 2000X line, but I think he looks good. And we'll look at him beside the He-Man here in just a moment so we do some comparisons. But first, let's go ahead and grab Zodak here as we bring him in a little closer. This head comes off really easy. You can see that big ball joint, but I'm popping it down all the way, but he's not able to look up at all. It's like his helmet hits the back of his neck there, but he is able to look down a little bit. He gets really good pivot, that big ball joint, so that's an improvement, and he looks side to side, but yeah, not able to look down or up a tremendous amount. And that's a shame because having no diaphragm, you know, movement, that locks you into nothing unless you get that in the neck. All right, let's see. Yeah, he'll go full 360. Again, no bicep swivel. Single jointed elbow, will swivel at the elbow. He also gets swivel and hinge, horizontal hinge, and he's wearing the gloves, which is traditional for this version. And you can see he's a little bit on the light side for a black guy, but he's you know, really neat looking. He does look like himself. I would just say that the color of skin is a little bit on the light side, but I love the fact that they included the markings. And of course, he'll get the T-pose. He has swivel at the waist. We'll get full splits. The skirt doesn't get in the way. Doesn't look like he kicks quite as far up because of that skirt piece. He will get the not quite 90 degree single jointed knee bend, but it does also have that swivel and a swivel at the boot. Gets full tiptoes, goes up all the way, and has that forward facing pin so that the foot does tilt fine. and a peg hole in the bottom. So that looks really good. He's just really neat. And what I want to do now is go ahead and measure our Zodac and our Prince Adam. All right, let's go ahead and measure our Prince Adam here, and he stands right at 5 3/4 inches tall. Little bit taller than some of our original Origins, but about around the same area. And wow, this Zodac stands 6 inches, 6 1/4 inches. 6 1/4. Yep, at the top of his helmet, 6 1/4, 6 inches and a quarter. So yeah, he's definitely on the taller side, but he didn't get one of the big boxes. But since we're talking about that, now let's do some comparisons. And here's our Prince Adam next to our Filmation style cartoon collection Prince Adam. And then there is more your Origins Prince Adam. And yeah, he is taller than your Origins Prince Adam by maybe just a hair, it looks like. I don't know, it's just hard to compare, hard to tell here on camera. I'm not sure. We'll test it like that. Now, looks like they're about the same size actually. But yeah, they're both shorter than our other cartoon collection Prince Adam, because as you can see here, he is bulky from the waist up here, whereas this one has a little bit more proportion with his lower body where he's stumpy. This one is stumpy in the bottom and kind of tall in the top part, and then these are kind of stumpy at the top and the bottom, more so than this one. So yeah, you can kind of see the direction that they were headed here with this, but looking cool. Here's our Zodac, and even though he is 6 1/4 inches tall, he's still shorter than our 6 1/2 inch tall Classics Zodac with a C. And you can see the difference here. Like I said, the skin tone is definitely lighter. For some reason they went with the blue, which I think in the cartoon, and here's a picture of Zodac in the cartoon from the Mike Young production, and I'm not sure, but it seemed like in some of the images and the shading, it did come across kind of a bluish tint, but I think it was supposed to be white actually. So that's kind of unique that Classics went with the blue, whereas our cartoon collection here went with the white. But still, we're glad to have the official, look. Definitely went a different route with the armor, and but yeah, you can see, and here's the Zodac with a K, Classics, a regular Zodac, white guy, and also have him in Masterverse. So let's look at him beside our Vintage Collection and Masterverse Zodac, and I'll pull out the Chariot from the Kang, I think it was, Chariot that I'm using for my Zodac Chariot from Marvel Legends. And here's our Zodac next to our Masterverse Zodac figures. Here first is the Vintage Collection. He's pretty much the same size as the original New Eternia Zodac we got from Masterverse. And here he is riding on Kang's Chariot from Marvel Legends, as I said, and I use that as the chariot for him, and I think that looks really good. And I've even got one of those light up pucks, but I can't seem to get it to cut on. May need to change the batteries, but I was able to shimmy this off, this ring off, and put that in there. One of those pucks does fit in there, and you can do the different colors, which is really cool, but I wasn't able to get that activated. But here he is looking really cool here. And of course, this Zodac could ride it also with no problems. He'd be able to sit down with no problems. All this is real soft. His armor would bend out of the way. He'd be able to sit down in it. May not be as flush because those legs didn't quite get 90 degrees, but probably well enough to be able to seat him on that chariot if you wanted to use something like that. But yes, looking really cool. And I still think I could probably use him as a Zodac figure. Put him in the lineup. He'll just be on the short side. Still hoping that we can get a female Zodac one day. Like we saw, I believe it was Evil Lyn turned into a cosmic enforcer at the end of Masters of the Universe Revolution on the Netflix series at the very end. Spoiler there, sorry. Yeah, wearing like a bluish outfit with a blue helmet. That was so cool. Yeah, still love to get that figure. But this Zodac is looking awesome. And here is our Masters of the Universe cartoon collection. 2000X, Mike Young, Prince Adam next to his counterpart He-Man after he transforms. And you see that not only does He-Man get a little tanner and his hair just a little bit more dark blonde, but also he gets taller. As far as more muscular, I don't know. It's different, but not necessarily more. I would say maybe more so, kind of more so on the legs. But yeah, I'm not really sure about that. But definitely in the Mike Young production, Prince Adam was smaller, but he grew much bigger in bulk than what we're seeing represented here. So that's a little bit inaccurate, in my opinion. But you can see how they look together here. And here he is alongside the other Mike Young 2000X cartoon collection figures that I have. Ram Man, who's supposed to be on the big side, the tall side in that particular version of MOTU. And then here is our Stratos, who still, I think, is my favorite figure as far as the way he looks and is designed. I love this particular figure, and I think this Zodac's going to be my second favorite. I really like his design. I do think his skin color is a little too light, but other than that, that's my only complaint. I think that they're looking really good together, and you can see that even here, even though our Zodac was 6 1/4 inches tall, that Ram Man is even taller. So yeah, but that is looking really cool. Thank you so much for joining us for this Super Dave review, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Please like, subscribe, and comment if you have something to say, and we'll see you next time. Be blessed. Here's some photos in the photo gallery.